Alright, hello, I have a very funny build this time. So, I'm wearing Piercing Relic Jewel, Piercing Galactic Graviturgy chest, and legs. I have a Piercing Quick Sharp Ring, but you can just make this Piercing, or Quick, either or. And I have a Vampiric Launch Rune, which this is just the only rune that I had Vampiric on. You can make this anything else, probably something that has magic or earth scaling, or boost. But I was just testing this out, and it worked out pretty well. And I have Star Barrage infused, so that's Stardust, and I have Winter Wolf and Emotions. For my weapons, I have Crude Magic Handle, Tier 1 Dynamite, and Magical Ray equipped. If you really want, you can go any tier of Dynamite. Tier 1 is the safest. Tier 3 is the funniest if you're like really big booms. But every time I tried to use Tier 3, I would just kill myself. Alright, so to use this build, it revolves around Relic Jewel. So you just kind of use the weapon art and then beam them like that. And the thing for the Relic Jewel is that it has like, it's only directly in front of you and the furthest enemy, which the furthest enemy doesn't really matter. But just keep in mind that it's directly in front of you, not just you press it once and then go AFK and just, it'll beam them. It won't. So to use this weapon art and then hold down mouse 2, most of the damage actually comes from Graviturgy. So it's kind of important to hold down mouse 2 to actually kill things. And then you can keep weapon arting. If I can get the timing right, which is just you press it, weapon art as soon as it goes off the cooldown. You can stack the beams from the motions cooldown. Since the beam lasts around 5 seconds, I can get the cooldown to like around 3 right now. And then just keep stacking more and more beams. It has around 400 DPS, which is really surprising, honestly. Because I thought this was just gonna be really stupid and not work. But it does. And that's kinda nice. Oh yeah. So you do have to, if you are gonna use higher tiers of Dynamite, you do have to be careful of stun locking yourself. Because if an enemy gets too close and you look at them, and this happens. Usually if there's enough room, you can get pushed away from the enemy, and the enemy just gets pushed away from you. But sometimes if you're unlucky, the enemy just keeps getting pushed towards you instead of away, and they just kind of stick to you, or you get stuck behind a wall, and you just beam yourself to death. The only thing that you can really try to do is, if this is happening, is look away. But even then, sometimes it just, if they're too close, it'll latch onto them. The reason why I'm using Piercing here for these 4 enchants is because most of the damage comes from Graviturgy and not from the beam itself. So the beam itself does true damage. It's kind of hard to see there because I have everything going off at once. But the beam doesn't actually do that much damage. I guess also the Crude Magic Runic Blades do a fair amount of damage too. That benefits from Piercing. That's why I'm not using Necrotic, because the beam itself doesn't do that much damage. It's everything else that comes after it. And yeah. That's kind of all I had to say about this. I'll show some clips from Frog Dungeon. Hope you enjoy. Alright, here's Wave 8. All the enemies are going to be coming from this corner. So it's safe if you're soloing. All the other ways, you have a really good chance of just getting ambushed and stun locking yourself because of TNT or Dynamite. It's Dynamite, ahaha. But if it's just one corner, you're fine. You can just civil rights beam them to death. Or if you're playing with other people who are covering corners, and it's also fine. Wave 14. They're all gonna spawn in one corner, so you know the drill. Just civil rights beam them to death. You don't stand a chance. God, the Relic Jewel is so stupid. Just the giant beam coming out of your forehead. That's great. Man, this thing has a lot of range. Let's see how terribly this will go. There we go. And then... Oh my frames! Oh my PC! Alright, I didn't crash. That's good. Well, you can't go anywhere. There he goes. Nice.